the first thing we did was we just came up with a list of all the things that could be in a spaceship. So a tractor beam, sliding doors, messing with the gravity. And then the first thing I did was I just started coming up with little one-off jokes, tubes inside the, mnemonic tubes inside the spaceship. So maybe Scrat's doing the classic thing where he's looking for somewhere to plant it and he finds this flap. He goes, perfect. Puts his nut in the flap and then it takes off, and of course he would freak out because there's what it is. So then you could do a bunch of fun stuff. He's chasing it around, or of course he gets stuck in the tubes with it. Then we had an idea like, what if he interacts with the sun? So this was an idea where he's like heading towards the sun. He's like, he freaks out, and the spaceship just goes bloop, and it goes right into the sun. And of course, he's like going through all like this crazy molten lava, and the floor, the metallic floor of the UFO starts to heat up, sizzling metal. And of course, Scrat would be like bouncing around, on his fingers, on his toes. You could do a bunch of funny stuff. And then he ends up on the nut, right? Because like, ooh. But then the nut gets really hot. It goes pop, and it pops like popcorn, And of course, he freaks out. And then he lands, and he's burning to death. Or it just becomes a sauna, and him and the nut are just chilling in the spaceship sauna. So this is what idea I had, where he's running and chasing the nut, and he could trigger like a tractor beam. Picking up the cow, of course. That's from Moroni. So you see the spaceship in space, and it shoots out a tractor beam. And then you cut down to Earth, and we see our guys. We finally passed the mountain of death. And it's Sid walking with the guys. And then you see the tractor beam, and it lifts up the mountain, moves it over, and puts it in front of them again. And they're looking up at it. And he just goes, well, this is a mountain.
Your drawings of Manny are hilarious.
I know. I used to make fun of my Manny drawings all the time. And he said, well, this is a mountain of a problem. And then Dave says, let's just go around it this time. And they go around. So that was one idea how they could affect it. Or another tractor beam gag was maybe Manny falls off a cliff, right? He's like, oh no. And then Sid's crying, he had so much to live for. And then the tractor beam comes down, and it lifts him up. What's happening? And Sid goes, my tears of sorrow brought him back from the dead. And then Scrat's in there, of course, beep, 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 hitting all the buttons. So it goes, guys, you gotta help me. And then he falls down. Gone again. What a cruel world. What is going on, you guys? And then Sid says, hurry up, make me cry. It's the only thing that triggers the thing and saves him. Your mother never loved you. Well, I already knew that. And then he gets pulled up anyways. And then Manny says, nobody loves Sid. Now help me out of here. Then one of the ideas was like a robot. So I thought, what if there's like a robot Scrat? So maybe he's in the spaceship and it's like, and it opens up and there's this funny like robo Scrat. And so of course they would like, it registers the nut, bing. It's like, it wants it. So it's like chasing Scrat, and it could do funny things where it like rolls over him with the treads. Or they're fighting over it. And this is a total like Chuck Jones joke. The little nose goes boop, opens up, and like zap Scrat. And then he's all like, earthworm, disintegrated. And then this was the idea. I thought like maybe there's a whole arc of this where the ship is like a character that's like a villain, right? So it recognizes Scrat and it says like intruder. So then it's like trying to get Scrat out of there, right? So it could use its alarm systems and it's zapping him, or it could like trap him in the door, right? So he can't run and his tail's stuck in there. So this became another one, which was the door scene. I think you guys maybe have seen that one that I did. But I thought, then it like opens it up, smacks him. He goes towards the edge. Oh no. But then it opens one of the panels and shuts him out of the thing. This was another idea that turned into another sequence that actually didn't make it in the movie. But if the ship is like playing jokes with him with a holographic nut, zonk, and he can't grab it, and the ship thinks it's all funny. And he's like, bzz, 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 he gets so mad. Or he's chasing it and the ship makes him chase it. It goes through the wall. And of course, he crashes into the wall. Or this was the last idea, was they start as like antagonists, but then the ship needs Scrat to like fix it. Like there's like a thing outside, like he's got to do like a spacewalk to fix the spaceship. So he goes out and then we see like from the hub, and he comes out like with his little suit and his briefcase and the little nuts there too, and you just get some cool shots. And he's fixing it. Maybe there's like a manual and he's reading it, and then you cut to the manual and it's all like acorn language or something. And he's trying to figure out how to fix the ship, but he fixes it, and then there's a asteroid thing coming. And the ship's looking for him, and it comes through the vent, and she sees him outside getting the shit beat out of him by asteroids. And maybe one of them goes towards him, takes off his head, but then, phew, close call. But then he realizes he can't breathe because he's out in outer space. So then the ship has to save him, and he puts him inside, and now they're like friends. So that could be like a whole arc.